Welcome to our Clarity and Focus session here at Consulting Unleashed. Thank you for joining me. We have a bunch of regulars here. We've got some new faces here as well. You are always welcome. I've been talking about a lot of tactical things along the way, but one of the things that I want to be mindful of is that we want to be reflective. When we come to the end of the month, what I like to do is kind of like do an assessment on what's happened in the previous month. Now, in our businesses, that we focus on our numbers every day. We have meetings about our numbers every week, and then we have another meeting at the end of the month to see how we went. And our goal is that we want to actually be ahead of the previous month. So every month we are in business, we want to make sure that the month that we are in is a much higher revenue month than the previous month. And then every quarter, every 90 days, we want to actually be in a much higher revenue cap in a 90-day period. So the idea is that our business is always moving forward, is always in momentum. Because if we do that, then we're actually scaling, we're building, and we're honoring. Now, that's not to say that there aren't bad months, because there are, and that's not to say that there are not bad weeks, because there are. That's just the nature of business, and we are an ever-flowing, ever-moving, ever-organic thing out there, right? At the end of the day, we are at the mercy of our actions, and we're also at the mercy of the results or the feedback we get from the actions that we take in the marketplace. So what I wanted to do today is to help you with a little bit of clarity, and more importantly, to understand kind of where to from here, because we're in a new month. In fact, we are coming into the first month of a new quarter. So we've had 2 quarters. The last quarter has been challenging for a lot of people. It's been extraordinary in some ways. We've had some people in our champions programs have amazing results. In our mastermind group, we've had one of our clients has grown in the last 2 months by $700,000 in revenue in the last 2 months, which was extraordinary. They've been hiring people like crazy. They've been growing their team. They've been acquiring customers, and they only use one strategy to get their clients, which is essentially cold email, which I thought is very interesting. They use one strategy and have managed to generate $700,000 of the business. We have lots of our clients who generated 4 or 5 clients last month. We have one of our clients introduced 10 new clients in the month of May, which is extraordinary. We even had one of our clients close 2 deals, $80,000, just in the last week by sharing or doing some of the tactics that we share in our programs, and even some of the things that we've been sharing here on our in these calls. So what I want to do is walk you through something that I do regularly in my business, something that I would encourage you to do as well, because it's going to just kind of keep you focused on the reality of what's going on for your business, and more importantly, keep you moving forward, right? Keep the momentum moving, because all this activity, all this energy, all the stuff that we've been working on in the last month doesn't stop there. Nothing that we did in the last month kind of has a finite, it's over. What we did last month is going to carry on into the next 2 months. One of the things that you need to understand from a business point of view is that everything you do, let's say, for example, I'm doing lead generation in the month of June. All my lead generation efforts, all my sales, the impact that I have in June is also going to reflect on the revenue that I generate in September. All the revenue that I focus on in June is going to have an impact on the revenue that I generate in September. That leading up to that 90 days, so the end of July, so end of August into September, anything that I do in the first weeks of June is going to have an impact on the latter part of those 3 months. So understand that if I do lead generation of those leads along that 3-month period, they're going to be, some of those people are going to be becoming clients. Dawn, good to see you here. So understand that we don't want to waste opportunities, and so many of us kind of look at this month and go, great, new month, and they forget everything they've done in the previous month that will support and help them into the future. So just so I know you're all listening, just type 1 on the keyboard, just so I know, in the chat, just so I can make sure we've got a little bit of interaction going on. We've got a few people jumping in. We've got a few ones. Awesome. Thank you. So just in the chat, just put, yep, we've got a lot of people. Russell, good to have you here. Nice to have you here. Howard Tiago, good to see you here. Lou, awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So I know that I'm being heard. I know that I'm being seen. Let me share a little thing that I've been cooking up in the kitchen, which are my slides. So, all right. So the concept of evaluate, adjust, and move, right? This is the whole thing. So one of the things that I like to do, and I will encourage you to share, is I like to kind of, let's acknowledge our big or small wins from the previous month, right? One of the things that I'm super, super proud of, that I believe is a huge win, I'll kick this off, is that we were able to support some amazing charities around the world. In fact, we had the impact of over a few thousand people, 3,000 people, with the money that we raised from our intensive. 1,500 people received access to solar lanterns, solar lighting in their home. We had 675 women have their payment for educational, vocational, and jobs training. And the thing that I'm most humble and proud about as a win is that we've now paid for the education for one underprivileged child. 135 children are going to get educated for an entire year. So that to me was my big win last month. We did well in sales, we did well in revenue, we did all that sort of stuff. But my big win to me was the big give. One of the things that we want to bring into our organization is we want to be very socially aware. We want to also support sustainable global projects, and where the funds, all the monies that were raised, go 100% to the charity. So they're not swallowed up in any administration. All those young kids are going to get a full year's education paid for in total. So none of the funds that we raise are going towards admin. They are actually going direct to the charity itself. So I'm super, super excited. And that was my win for the month. I'd love to, if you want to share your wins, if you generated some clients, if you worked on a project and got some traction, if you can just share your wins in the chats here for May. How did you go in May? I'd love to hear what happened. Just type in the chats how you went for May. Rashida recordings will be available in the membership area, yes. All the recordings are in the membership area, yes. They will be there. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. You already have access to those, by the way. So yeah, I will put those into your members portal. So Rashida says, got my high-level customized scripts and email scripts together. Sahil, 30K client telemedicine niche. Congratulations, Sahil. That's awesome. So if you can just type in the wins, big or small, for your business in the group there, that would be amazing. Just so we can congratulate you and we can acknowledge you. It's nice, you know, the effort and the energy that you put into generating outcomes, that you get acknowledged for those outcomes. So if you want to just type in any wins you've had last month, big or small, it doesn't matter. You might be working something. Lou says you joined the group. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate that for saying that that was a win. I'm super excited about working with you, Lou. I think you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff out of Agency Unleashed. Any other wins, big or small? I just want to give you a moment to think about what you've achieved last month. Dawn, congratulations, man! Got to 70 new clients. That is fantastic, mate. In this period, that's incredible. So congratulations to you, Dawn. Got to 70 clients. 14 new clients in May. Mate, that is awesome. So good to see. Anybody else? Any wins from the month? Big or small, it doesn't matter. You might have launched a campaign. You might have built that funnel. You might have, helped an existing client get a great result. Just type in wins, big or small for the month of May. I just want to make sure that we acknowledge you. Sahil, after hearing me for the last few weeks, you figure that you realize that you're completely undercharging for your services. Well, now you understand that you actually deliver value, Sahil, that you're actually delivering value to the market. So that's really important. Yeah, absolutely. Man, Nick, that's awesome. Helped a client pre-sell $200,000 worth of procedures. Congratulations, that is fantastic. Howard Tiano, you got a new roofing client, mate. Congratulations. I know you've been doing a lot of hard work, man. That is really good to see that you picked up a client there. Congratulations to you. That's fantastic. Any other big or small wins anybody would like to share? If you want to type them in, that would be great. So that we can at least acknowledge you and let you know that the hard work that you've put in has also paid off as well. So I'll give one more moment. If anybody does have a win that they'd like to share, that would be amazing. Because the month of May was a lockdown month. So we're now coming into June, and now we have the month of opportunity for ourselves in the marketplace. All right, so I just want to honor and thank all of those people. Dawn, Sahel, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's either Sahil, or Sahil. So I apologize if I've made a mess of your name. Howard, Tiana, congratulations on the client. Nick, helping a client pre-sell $200,000 worth of procedures. Mate, that is an amazing case study that you can carry to the market. Dawn, 70 clients, 14 new clients in May. Congratulations, that was amazing. Sahel, $30,000 client in the telemedicine niche. Congratulations. Rashida, launching a high-level customized email scripts and getting that together. Congratulations to you. So I want to say thank you for sharing your wins. You know, as I said, it's really important to sort of look back and think about what we do in the marketplace. So I want to share something with you. This is something that I talk with my champions. Those who are in the Agency Unleashed program are going to be seeing this as well. And we like to do what we call a monthly scorecard. And I want to just explain this scorecard to you. It's a pretty simple concept. So we have a concept that we call leads, appointments, presentation, sales, LAPS, LAPS, right? And so if we look at back in the month, I'm not asking you for your results here, but I want you to be mindful that if you want to use this as a strategy, it's a very powerful way to kind of keep you focused on important things in your business, achieving revenue and targets in your business. So number one is I want to look at the number of leads that we've generated for the month, right? So if we've run some ad campaigns, if we've been doing scraping, we've been doing LinkedIn connections, how many leads did we actively engage in the month for that month? So if I was to pick a number, we would say 300 leads, right? So how many leads did we generate? Then how many qualifying appointments did we actually do? So what a qualifying appointment is just a phone call to see that if you are a fit with that client. So were they a fit for your business? Were they somebody that can gain benefit from what you do? They liked the idea. They wanted to move forward to a presentation with you. So an appointment or a qualifying appointment essentially is to assess whether or not they're a fit for your product or service, and whether or not you're going to continue the next logical step, and that is to look at the way and how you can deliver or help those people. So let's say, for example, that number was 15 qualifying appointments. We were roughly doing over the course of the month, we're doing about 4 of these a week, right? Now, generally what happens is when you're doing qualifying appointments, depending on how good your lead generation is, and also depending on how, sorry, I'm just going to pick up my mug here. Just need to wet my whistle a little bit. Depending on how well you've qualified in terms of the lead that you've attracted or engaged, that's going to determine how successful you are of taking that qualifying call into a presentation. So from appointments, you want to be aiming for about 50%. 50% of people you talk to, depending on how you're targeting and who you're targeting, and that's going to be something you need to be mindful of. You should be able to get about at least half of those over the line into a presentation, into a sales presentation. So for example, I'd have number of qualifying appointments, 15, number of presentations made, 8, number of sales made, 3. So out of 8 sales, if I'm closing roughly between 25 and 30%, I should be able to close 3 deals, right? Then the figure that's important is how much money did you bank in the month? What is the cash that you put into your bank account? The deposits, the installments, the setup fees. What did you actually collect in cash banked, even from existing clients, right? How much money did you put in the bank account? So we put that figure, 15K cash in the bank account. And then if we have recurring clients, recurring revenue, we want to tally what our recurring monthly revenue is for the month if we are running recurring revenue for our business. So for example, recurring monthly recurring level income or income level is 25K. Right? $25,000 per month. Now, remember, if we are focused, what I do is I have this scorecard taped to a board, like with Post-it notes, so I can see what happened last month. And then what I want to see is I want to have an objective to actually improve or get a better result in the current month of what I'm doing. right? Based on what I've mapped out over a 90-day period, I've worked backwards to generate my, what my revenue is going to be, how many clients I'm going to bring on board, how much cash I'm going to put in the bank account. I know roughly what I'm aiming for, and that's something that is very visible in front of me, and I'm using post-it notes to make sure that I'm actually keeping accountable to what I say I want to do in my business. This is a very practical, pragmatic thing to do, right? So we go from having our situation of not being visible to now being very, very visible about the real things that have an impact on our business. This is really pragmatic, really important. So if I have this scorecard in front of me, now I want to think about what the scorecard will be in the coming month. What am I aiming for, right? So how many leads do I want to generate in June? What do I want as the number of qualifying appointments that I want to generate in June? What is the number of presentations that I want to do in June in accordance with my plan? How many sales do I want to actually bring on, or how many clients do I want to bring on in June, right? How much money do I want to bank in June, right? How much cash do I want to bank in June? And then what do I want my monthly recurring revenue? Generally, what I'm trying to do is level up. If we're going to play the incremental game, if we could level up, say, 10K every month, right? So 10K every month is an increase on the current monthly recurring revenue. Not a big leap, right? Because for some of you, that might be 2, 3, some might be 5 or 6 or more clients, right? It's not a huge leap. But what I want to do is, this is what happened last month, and this is what I want to happen this month. And what I'm wanting to do is to improve on the previous months. So I'm going to give an example. In our agency in Breakthrough, the first 2 weeks was devastating in May. We had a terrible first 2 weeks. And I was sitting there looking, saying, in that 2-week period, how are we going to hit our objectives and our monthly revenues to make sure that we're increasing on the previous months? And lo and behold, the last 2 weeks of the month were very, very busy, very super successful, huge conversions, and we were able to increase our monthly recurrings by about 20% on the previous month. And that all happened in the last 2 weeks, right? So we're looking at the first 2 weeks, we're looking a bit barren, a little bit bare, and all of a sudden we turned a corner. And I think what turned the corner for us is we actually went back and we just doubled down and focused on things that we knew that could pragmatically improve our opportunity to convert clients. So we went back to all our old past no's. We re-offered them. We came out with a new offer. We went back to people who'd said no before, we tried a different offer. We were able to engage a few of those. We were able to put a new offer to the market to entice people to start a process with us and a project with us. And so lo and behold, at the end of that month, we ended up with a really good month. In fact, I think we've ended up with probably one of the best months for the last 6 months in May, which is still lockdown time, right? So even in lockdown time, we've been doing well. But a big reason of why we're doing well is because of this scorecard, right? The reason why is because we are making sure that we're focused on the most important things that move the needle from a business point of view, right? From a business point of view, how are we moving the needle? So much so that we're hiring. In fact, I'm hiring right now. So we're looking for people. Anybody know who wants a good EA and an automation specialist? I'm hiring. So understand that this little scorecard will help you focus on the key things that are important to make sure that you're moving your business forward in the direction that you want to attain your outcomes on. So before I move to the next slide, any questions on what I've just shared? If you've got any questions here, that would be great. Dawn, 7 of those clients that's amazing, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing, Dawn. 7 clients for the referral training that I did. That's awesome. Rashida, these conversions exist month to month. No, they don't necessarily mean that. This is just tracking, Rashida. I'm just, by the way, these are not my numbers. I'm just giving you an example, right? My numbers are a little bit bigger than this, like 5, 6 times bigger than this. Actually, more than that. Yeah. So I'm just using this as an example. Do the conversion rates stay the same? No. If your conversion rate is at a certain rate, what you're trying to do is you're trying to improve the conversion rates, right? What can we do to qualify people better? What can we do to attract or engage better quality leads? What can we do to improve our ability to take the person from the appointment stage, early appointment stage, through to the presentation stage? How to improve our conversion numbers on sales? But if we don't know these numbers, Rashida, it's really hard for us to actually be able to move and improve. We use these numbers as a kind of example of this is where we're at. We're only as good as our last game, right? We're only really as good as our last month. We're not any better than that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to improve little things, incremental things, so that we can actually move and generate better results. So I hope that answer. What counts as a lead when doing email prospecting? Email sent, response received. So to me, a lead is somebody who has at least so a lead is just a lead. A lead is a name, an email was sent. There is some form of outreach made to a lead. Either the lead is an inbound lead that's come in from our marketing and advertising, or it's an outbound lead. We've actually gone out to the lead. So this counts as one lead. A prospect is somebody who goes through the qualifying appointment. A prospect is somebody we get on the phone. That's a prospect, right? From there, we determine on whether or not we are a fit. Now they become somebody who is a prospective customer, somebody that we want to work with, and then from there we want to convert. So a lead is something that they've either engaged you. Sorry, let's be clear, and I'll speak English in just a moment. They either engage you or you've engaged them. That's a lead, right? A prospect is somebody you're having a conversation with, right? A prospect, you're determining on whether or not they're a fit. Right, so even in the qualifying stage, to me, the people who are actually going to the presentation stage, they're really the prospects, because we've filtered them out, we've qualified them, we know that they are a potential buyer, product or service, if that makes sense. So yeah, any other questions? Happy to answer any questions before I move on. Just type in the questions if you've got a question about this. Who's going to use this? Just type in 2 if you're going to use this system from now on. 222, awesome. If you do this, if you use this system, I dare you to post it into the Facebook group. I dare you to post your scorecard in the Facebook group, right? That's going to put the acid to the test. The idea is that at the end of the day, what we measure, we can manage. That's what this scorecard is all about. What we can measure, we can manage. The reason why I take this up and put it on post-it notes in front of me on a board so that I can see it is so it's physically in front of me all the time. It is the most important scorecard from the validation of my business that it is moving forward, that is healthy. It is a physical attribution towards that. So I need to know, I need to honor the fact that I'm in business, right? Because if I don't do that and I leave this slap of the gods and it sits in my computer, I don't see it, then it's going to be very difficult for me not to pay attention. I'm going to lose my focus on making sure that I do these things to move my business forward. That's the deal here, right? So, awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. What's the plan moving forward? So remember, every month that we move forward, every month that we're moving in through momentum. We've generated leads, we've had appointments, we've had sales, we've had people who've presented to who didn't buy. I want to keep that momentum flowing. So my question is right now for all of you, if you can, I don't need you to do this for me, but for yourself, make a list of all the people that you need to follow up. Right, you need to absolutely follow these people up this week, in this first week. Just make a list. All the people you follow, any phone calls that you said you were going to get back to, anybody that said to you, hey, can you call me in a couple of weeks' time? Anybody that did that, make that list and you need to act on that list first. That is your quickest action moment. Anybody you did a presentation to in the last 3 months, at the beginning of every month, I want to call those people and go, how did you go? Did you implement the idea? Are you still interested in our idea? Those are the things, that's the number one thing that I would do. Anybody number one, I want to look at all my past presentations for the last 3 to 6 months. Anybody that said no, I'm going at the beginning of the first week of every month, I'm going back to those people and say, hey, how are you going? Hey, I've got a new idea. Or hey, are you still interested? Hey, what did you do about that? Did you apply that? Did you apply for yourself, right? Anything you did at the beginning for the last 3 months as a quote or a presentation, you made an offer and they said no, go back to those people and say, how are you going? Did you implement the idea? What sort of results you've been getting? Would you like my help, right? Offer the people you've already offered to, because here's why this is important. They already know who you are. They know what you do. They know what you charge, right? They've got all the information. So now we're building rapport, right? So, hey, do you need some help? Do you want me to have a look at something for you? Would you like to apply? Are you still interested in applying that idea that we talked about? Have you moved on that idea that we talked about, right? What's happened? And sometimes you'll find they'll reignite or they'll go, you know what? maybe we should do this, or yeah, let's do this, right? I cannot tell you the countless champions that I work with every single month that are picking up deals and sales from presentations they've done 6 months ago. I had Lauren, one of our champions, picked up a $5,000 a month deal from somebody who said no to her 6 months ago, said unequivocally, absolutely no, we're not going to spend any money. And bang, this month in May, they went, you know what, we need to do this, right? 6 months later, they went bang. That's a $60,000 sale from following up an old deal, right? I had Martin, another one of my champions, same thing. Followed up a deal from 5 months ago. They went, hey, we need to do this. We need to move forward. We need to get this done. I cannot tell you the hundreds of thousands and the millions of dollars worth of sales that are sitting out there where all somebody needs to do is say, hey, what did you do? Are you interested? Are you ready? Shall we go, right? What's your offer, right? What is your offer right now? What's the thing that you're going to move out and put out into the marketplace? What's the deal, right? That you're putting out there. Really, really important, right? Because if you don't have one, nobody can buy it, right? So what is the thing moving forward for you? What is your offer? What are you going to help people with? What do you help them? What do you need, right? For them to understand that you can help with that outcome, right? Who are you offering it to? How many of those offers are you making every day, right? How many of those offers are you following up to find out if they're interested? That's the thing that you want to be answering as a question here today. Without that, then you're not going to be doing anything. No offer, no business. No follow-up, no business. No active engagement, no business, right? And you are in business. Your goal is to add value to other people's lives and help them bridge the gap from where they want to be to where they, from where they are to where they want to be. That's your purpose as a business owner for what you deliver to the market. It is your goal to profit from that purpose. And if you're not making offers, if you're not engaging, if you're not letting people know, then they can't do business with you. They can't buy you. This is the number one thing that people get stuck on in this business. They're not, you know, I ask people, how many offers you got out there? And they go, none. Well, it's going to be very hard to grow a business without an offer. So tomorrow, if I ask everybody, if you've got an offer out there, the answer's got to be a resounding yes. Because if you do have an offer and you do send one out there, it means that you're in business, right? If you don't have an offer, you don't send it out there, nobody can see it, nobody can buy it, you're not in business. Pretty simple, pragmatic stuff. What is your offer? Number one, what are your income generating activities? What is so to me, there are two types of activities. There's a primary income generating activity, and then there is a secondary income generating activity. Most people spend more of their time doing secondary income generating activities rather than primary income generating activities. If you focus more of your time on primary income generating activities, you'll make a whole lot more money. Putting all the secondary, third, and fourth income generating activities out of the market. Go and watch a video that I did a couple of days ago on primary, secondary things that you should be doing to generate sales and revenue for your business. If you follow that training, I'll guarantee you it is a license to print money for your business, right? So what is your primary? To me, a primary income generating activity is making a direct offer for a buy. That's my primary income generating activity. Make a direct offer for a buy, right? Who can I speak to make a direct money offer to? What invoice could I follow up to make sure I pay it? Who am I invoicing right now to collect some money and cash in my business? What am I doing? What is my primary income generating activity? My primary income generating activity is to speak to one business owner per day. That is my primary income generating activity. Because if I can do that, that means I've had 20 conversations. If I've had 20 conversations, I'm going to close 3 to 5 deals every month, right? I know people who are closing deals every day. In fact, I know one person where we're working with them, they closed a deal every day, 5 days a week, 20 sales last month for Facebook advertising, right? Because they are having those conversations every single day, right? Every single day. That's why they're making millions, right? That's why they're making millions. In the middle of all this lockdown, they are writing a ton of business. And they're writing a ton of business in a market that is dead. There's still people in that market and business that they're running a ton of business in, right? So understand that what is your primary income generating activity? I'd love to, if you want to, be brave and share what's your primary income generating activity for this coming week. What are you going to do? What is the thing that you're going to do that actively engages you with the conversation with the customer? Can you just type in the chat? I'd love to hear what your primary income generating activity is, right? Secondary income generating activity is, crafting an offer. That's a secondary. Sending it out and following it up, that's a primary. Talking to a business owner, following up businesses, leads that you've been nurturing, that's primary. These are the things you need to do. If you're doing these things, I want you to write it down. I want you to type it out. What is your primary income generating activity? Right, we've got a whole bunch of people on here. My primary is Cold email, follow up with a phone call, asking for referrals. Yeah, absolutely. You got 7 referrals last month, Dawn. That's awesome. Following up on presenting the offer. Yes. If you're going to put it out there, you want to follow it up. Just text a few prospects to follow up. Yes. Calls plus follow up. Yes. Right. These are all primary income generating activities, right? Getting to a conversation. Can we talk? Can we get on the phone, right? This is what you want to be doing with people in the market. Awesome. Congratulations to those, all right? So next, what can I share that's new? What is something that I can share that is new? I learned something really cool last week. It kind of reminded me of something that if I was to help somebody, and I think I did talk about this on a live that I did yesterday, but if I was really wanting to help somebody, if I broke down the steps, right? If I knew what the problem was and I just broke down the steps and I just gave them those steps, if I reached out to people and said, listen, I'm just trying to help people to get much better results with their Facebook advertising campaigns. And here's what I'm seeing that's broken right now. So I just want to reach out to you. I'm just going to share this with you. Take it or leave it. But I know that if you do this, it's going to make an impact, right? But I'd love to get some feedback from you. So number one, what's the biggest thing with a Facebook advertising thing is most people have a terrible strategy. The reason why most Facebook ad campaigns work, number one, the strategy is wrong. And number two, the campaign is not optimized, unscalable and not optimized. Those are the two reasons that most campaigns, the actual campaign, not the results from the campaign itself, why it fails, right? So right now, what's the strategy, right? Think about the buyer. Are you thinking about the buyer's journey? Are you thinking about the type of offer you're putting out there? Are you thinking about what the follow through, what type of result? Have you set a goal and an objective to those sorts of things? These are the things you need to take into consideration before you run a Facebook ad campaign, right? And there are 4 elements of a successful Facebook campaign. So, hey, are you following the optimum structure for making sure that you're running a successful Facebook campaign, right? So my first piece was, do you have a strategy? Most people don't, right? Second idea would be, hey, 4 fundamental things, right? So number one, what is the offer that we're making, right? Number 2, what is the copy? Number 3, what is the creative? Number 4, what is the optimization, the A/B split testing of that campaign? These are 4 elements that will help you improve and get a successful Facebook ad campaign done, right? Are you doing, just off a checklist, are you doing these things, right? Because this is what we do. We help our clients to formulate a strategy, but more importantly, we want to optimize their campaign. To do that, make sure we've got the right offer. We're going to make sure we've got great copy. We're going to make sure that our creative grabs attention. We're going to make sure that we optimize our account, set up our audience, our testing, our targeting, right? We've got to make sure we're running A/B split tests. So I'm letting the market know, right, what it takes to run a proper professional campaign. Now, the next level is to add a budget to it to scale, right? So what we want to do is we want to run multiple A/B split tests. We want to maximize the ability to scale, and we want to look at not so much the cost per action. What we want to get to is we want to get to a place where we realize a cost per client acquisition. So how much does it cost us to get an appointment? How much is it going to cost us to make a sale, right? Right now, the critical number in any campaign is how much money am I spending and how much money am I collecting? That is the number one strategy in Facebook. Most people look at cost per action. Most people look at cost per click, right? That number to me means nothing to me, right? Because I could pay $1,000 a cost per click. And if it costs me $5,000 to make a sale, I know that's the most important number. It's going to cost me $5,000 to go and make a $60,000 sale. I will write the $5,000 check all day long. So now what I'm doing is I'm sharing a concept for them to think about what it means to actually scale a proper Facebook ad campaign, right? So I'm adding value, right, by sharing, hey, you might not know this, but maybe you need to be aware of these things, right? And then we want to get to cost of acquisition. Once we have cost of acquisitions, then we've got to look to optimizing our sales process. The biggest mistake that most people make is they say that leads are shitty, right? So this is what we discover. Now, all I'm doing is adding value, adding value, adding value. My last offer to them was say, listen, if at any stage, I'd love to know, one, what you think about what I've shared, about thinking the process of getting better results through. Number 2, right, I'm inviting you, I want to invite you where I'd love to show you the plan to execute in this format to get a stronger result. Can I give you that plan? There's the offer, right? And so if I were to do that to 30 people. I'll guarantee you, if I follow that process, the methodology I just shared with you, and that's just talking about Facebook ads. If I was doing AdWords, it'd be a different structure. If I was doing email marketing, it would be a different conversation. If I was doing sales automation or lead management, it would be a different conversation. But if I was adding value to the market and just building my authority, because what you're doing by doing this is you are building your authority by doing this. And if you're building your authority, the person is seeing you as somebody who is giving advice, being the advisor, not the supplier. I want to get into a relationship with somebody that I'm positioned as the advisor, not as somebody who is supplying something to the marketplace, right? So understand that you want to look at this type of approach. It's going to give you a much better result, because people are going, you know what, this is cool. We don't think about it this way. Yeah, I understand, right? You're going to open the door to actually converting clients. And also, if you value yourself, you're going to open the door to generating clients at a much higher level, right? So once I say, hey, let's do the plan, I know that I'm in the sweet spot. My close and my offer is really simple. You can go away and do this, or would you like us to help you? You've got a 50-50 yes or no deal. Imagine closing 50% of all the deals you speak to. Half the people you speak to. More importantly, I know people right now who are following what I just said, and they're closing 100% of their deals right now. They're closing 100% of the people they speak to once they get them through this process. And it doesn't take long to build your authority, to give that structure to a lead or a customer or a prospective customer that you're targeting in the marketplace. So this is a big give. Like, this is a give. I talked about this concept and idea that if you went to give the big give, that you'll literally open yourself up to working with clients that love you, right? Because that relationship, that rapport that you're building is that advisory relationship at the very beginning. So they're not going to treat you like a commodity, like every other tie kicker or every other Facebook ad lead generator or everybody PPC. They're going to say, hey, okay, you're the one giving me the ideas. You're the one thinking through the strategy. You're the one looking at how you can maximize, tweak, and optimize the opportunity. So to me, this is one of the easiest ways to make a sale right now in the market, because people are looking to be led by people who know what they're doing. People are looking to be led by people who have ideas, new approaches, fresh understanding, maybe to be pragmatic about what they're doing, maybe to think logically rather than emotionally, right? If I shared, like I shared the LAP scorecard, right? I share the LAP scorecard with companies. Look, this is what we do in our business. I don't know if you can use it, but if you were to apply the same sort of thing, what would it look like for you? And they go, well, we don't do that sort of stuff. Oh, okay. Well, what do you think would happen if you did? Do you think your numbers would go up? Absolutely. Well, why don't we look at a way that we can implement that as a key thing and see what sort of results we can get, right? It's not hard for things. And there are things, like, I've been doing this for a long time, right? But there are things that I see. In fact, I saw something the other day, and it reminded me of something that I used to do years ago. Right, so those people who join me in Agency Unleashed, you're going to be privy to this concept I'm going to be sharing with you. But I used to do this years ago, and I used to realize that we used to get some really big clients that had pretty big budgets using this key strategy. And the thing was, we didn't need to go out to a bucket load of people to get the leads. In fact, we're only managing about not even 200 leads. I think about between 175 and 200 leads. We were managing for this process. But that little group of people turned into $4.5 million worth of revenue in 1 year. That little group of people turned into $4.5 million worth of revenue in 1 year. 1 year, right? So understand that when you lead with value, when you actually position that, understand what you're delivering, you open the door to maximizing your opportunity at a much higher level, right? Working with people who value you more intrinsically, and making sure that you're maximizing your opportunity for your growth, right? So I'm happy to answer questions, but one thing that I want to do, just to give you some perspective from a business point of view, right? There are 3 levels in the agency business. The first level at that freelancer mark is getting to 10K a month, 100K a year, $100,000 is a milestone marker. Right? To get to $100,000 is actually not very hard to do. It's basically mindset. Getting to 100K is all about the gray matter in your head. So you've got to overcome your mindset. You've got to overcome your thinking. You've got to overcome, because all you've got to do is deliver value, right? Where do you deliver value? How do you deliver value? And then letting people know that you deliver that value. Do that often enough, you'll get to 10K a month in no time at all. In fact, most people could do it in less than 30 days. right? It's not hard to do to get $10,000 a month, $120,000 of recurring revenue. That milestone there, 100K, is a milestone for a lot of people. But from 100K, then we move into building our business to $1 million. So between $100,000 and $1 million, it all becomes about sales and marketing. It doesn't become about fulfillment. It becomes about 80% sales and marketing, 20% fulfillment. 80% sales and marketing, 20% fulfillment, right? So that from that milestone of 100K to get yourself to 2, 3, 5 to $1 million, that is all about sales and marketing. Once you hit the $1 million mark in the business, then it becomes about leadership. It becomes about people, systems, processes to scale from 1 million to 5 million. So the question that I'm asking you, and I don't need an answer, but this is the question for yourself. Where are you at? Are you in the mindset zone? Are you in the sales and marketing zone? Or are you in the leadership zone? Right? That's where you need to be thinking about where your milestones are or where you're positioning in the business. Because the first thing you have to overcome is to reach that first milestone. And doing 10K a month is a no-brainer. It's 2, 3, maybe 4 clients. It's not a lot of clients, maybe 5 even. But it's not a lot of clients to hit that milestone. But it seems to be this first barrier that a lot of people have to hit. Some people can do it really quickly. Some people take time to actually hit those outcomes. But that 100K, earning 100K for yourself as a freelancer, is a no-brainer. And when I say it's a no-brainer, it's only no-brainer when you get head around the fact that this is what it's going to take to get there. And it doesn't take a lot. It does not take a lot to give yourself that freedom, right? But then the goal is, it's all about sales and marketing. From 100K, it's all about sales, marketing, 80% sales and marketing, 20% fulfillment. You can buy fulfillment. And from there, it's leadership. So wherever you are in the scale of things, if it's a mindset thing, you need to start thinking, how many clients do I need to get to $100,000, right, in cash, right? Is it 10K a month? Is it 100K up front? We've got champions that have collected $60,000. In fact, we had one of our champions collect a check for $117,000 last week. $117,000 last week, right? One check. And that was for a 3-month project paid in advance. We had another champion who picked a $108,000 deposit in his bank account a little bit ago. We had another champion, $700,000 worth of cash collected, right? That's just to show you from a mindset point of view what's possible. Sometimes one client will give you exactly what you're looking for. So with that, somebody did do a chit chat here, so I want to make sure that I answer that question. Lou says 1, yeah. We've covered a few things. I just want to go back to, in terms of what we covered. We covered a few things. First of all, number 1, scorecard, right? What you're doing, how do you measure the number of leads, the number of qualifying appointments, the number of presentations, the number of sales that you make, the amount of cash that you bank, and the monthly recurring income. These are really important numbers for your business, right? The next thing we talked about, who can you generate revenue from right now from the momentum that you created back in May, coming into June? So in this first week, this is a good opportunity to pick up some fast sales, right? Second, what's your offer out there? What are you offering today? Who are you offering to? What is your methodology to engage in conversation for that offer? What is the number 1 income activity for your business, right? What are you doing, right? Is this something new that you can share, or can you do the value prop that I just shared, walking people through the idea and asking them for feedback? What do you think about the perfect strategy? What do you think about the perfect solution? What do you think about, what if I gave you this plan, right? And at the end of giving the plan, you're going to ask a really simple question, 50% conversion rate. You could do this all by yourself, or would you like us to help you implement this process and start getting these results? Right? You got a 50-50 chance of closing the deal right there. And if I know that if you follow that process, I know more often than not, you're actually going to get a client. So what I want to do, I'm just looking at the time here. I'm happy to answer a question. If you have a question, just type it in the chat. Private, you mentioned you are hiring. I'm interested in speaking with you about the opportunity of at my earliest convenience, Rashida. Just send me an email to John@Consulting Unleash, Rashida, and happy to chat. But I'm hiring. I'm looking for, in fact, I'm looking for 4 full-time people at the moment. So I'm looking for a really good quality EA. If anybody knows a good executive assistant wants to reach out, you can reach out to me. Anybody knows a good automation specialist, somebody who's had 3 or 4 years experience in working in automation and strategy, love to hire one of those people. Anybody who knows anybody who can help with podcasting and stuff like that, video, love to hire those people. So yeah, I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for people. So with that, any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions you have. My email is john@consultingunleashed.com. JOHN, john@consultingunleashed.com. That's where you can email me. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions about what I've shared? If you'd like me to elaborate on something, let me elaborate for you. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you for being here, and I'll see you same time, same bat channel. Anything else? We're about to, by the way, we're about to start a series. It's going to be called the Unleashed series, and it's actually going to be a walkthrough of building and scaling agencies with all the considerations. So keep an eye out for that series. It's called the Unleashed series. So that's going to be happening very, very shortly. Going to be super fun. Super excited about that. Any other questions? Any other questions? Biggest takeaway. If you can type in, what was your biggest takeaway from today's session? I want to know what you took away from what I taught you today. What was your biggest takeaway? Just type in the chat. Biggest takeaway, just so we can acknowledge and other people can see what you're learning. If you can just type in the chat, what is your biggest takeaway from today's session? Biggest takeaway. The scorecard, posting it up so it stays top of mind. Absolutely. What's possible in such a short period of time? Yes, Russell. What's possible in such a short period of time? Physically printing out your lapse card. Yes. Putting it up, let me tell you, having that visual lead. So a friend of mine, I've been helping a friend of mine, he runs a very large coaching program, and I've been helping his people, and I gave them this strategy. And since I've been giving this strategy to them, this whole scorecardy thing, more than 40% of the people are literally generating increases. Some people, like one person went from 50 grand a month to 100 grand a month in the space of 30 days. We had people having their best months ever since they've been posting their scorecards. I know this works. That's why I'm sharing this with you. Cannot get past calls and cannot get past, I don't know what that means, Chris. I don't know what you mean by you can't get past calls and follow up. The LAPS, what does the acronym stand for? LAPS, Leads, Appointments, Presentations, Sales. Leads, Appointments, Presentations, Sales. That's what LAPS stands for. Could you break down the sales call process for Facebook ads a bit slower? I've recorded this, John B. You'll be able to see this recording in the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group if you're not in there, or if you go to consultingunleashed.com/go, this video is going to go up to YouTube, so you're going to see this. I've recorded everything. I talk so fast. Yes, I know. You've got to excuse my Minnesota accent. I know I talk very fast. Yes. But I have recorded. Everything. Any other questions? You type in the chat. The calls and following up are the basics. Yeah, that's the base. That is a basic, fundamental, primary income generating activity. If you're going to put something out there, you want to find and get feedback on what you're putting out there. Now, the better the quality of the stuff you put out there, the better the opportunity for connection and feedback. If you add value to people at a very high level, right, the ability to convert and connect with that person is going to be much faster. Those of you who joined Agency Unleashed, by the way, I have one seat left at the moment. One seat left for Agency Unleashed. If you want to go over to agencyunleashed.com, you can grab a seat. It is 6 weeks with me. We're going to do daily sessions. You're going to be getting access to our champions and our champions training as well. We are inviting some very cool masters of the universe when it comes to business development over the coming 6 weeks in champions. So you're going to be exposed to some amazing people. Russell says, thanks so much. Love my content and knowledge. Really appreciate all the value. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that, Russell. Thanks for doing that. If you were reaching out to a LinkedIn lead, would your first conversation be different than a first conversation with a cold email? Brian, my conversation is I just want to connect and see where you're at. That's my first conversation. I just want to see, one, where you're at. Two, is this something that might be useful or interested? I talk to people about this idea. If you're interested in this idea, that'd be great. If you're not, I understand. Who do you think would be? Ask for referral. So to answer your question, Brian, would my conversation be the same? Yeah. I'm trying to get people on the phone. So one of the things that those of you who are not aware, when I want to get somebody on the phone, I'm going to email you, text you, message you, connect with you on LinkedIn, go to your Facebook page, go into Messenger. I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you in multiple modalities. So I'm not going to send you an email. I'm going to send you a touch points or multiple touch points to get you on that phone. Yeah, to get you on that phone. But if I'm going to create multiple touch points, I want to be very clear. If I'm creating multiple touch points for you, those touch points are designed out of value. They are very relevant to you. I'm not pestering you to get a bite. I'm actually trying to deliver real value to you. That's how I'm trying to generate the conversation. So to answer your question, Brian, yeah, the conversation would be similar. I'm always, like I said, I'm always asking people, hey, look, I'd love to just understand where you're at. But more importantly, I'm just going to ask you, is something like this of interest? Would something like this idea be useful to your business? Is it worthwhile having that conversation? And oftentimes, if the idea that I have is relevant and I know that it is of benefit, and if I say, will it be useful? They'll go, yes, well, great. Is it worth exploring how that can apply? That's the next question. So that's a really soft way. By the way, if you check out some of the recordings, I've actually given away the scripts in some of the YouTube and the Facebook recordings. Do you do direct mail campaigns? Yes, Chris, I do. I love cards and letters, and I love things what you send to people, because you know what? I do have a mailbox. I don't clear out my mailbox, but we do have a mailbox. And there are less and less letters coming in my mailbox, right? Years ago, we used to have to do this thing where we had, I would send my team member to go and collect the mail. And my team member would stand in front of this filing cabinet called, we used to call it File 13. And File 13 was the actual garbage bin next to where the mail was collected from. And anything that was a brochure or anything like that would end up in File 13. Anything that was a window, we knew that was a bill. We had to keep that one. That was really important. But anything that was personalized, we would keep that one. But everything else went in the bin in File 13. But now, I relish mail. I relish the collection of mail for myself. I want to receive information from people in the mail. So yeah, to answer your question, mail is cool. Dawn says it's a circular file. It is the circular file, yes. We used to call, I don't know why we call it File 13, but it was File 13. So we used to just dump all the brochures and all the crap in File 13. But the window ones, which we didn't like, we knew we had to keep. And then anything that was unusual was personalized, we tend to keep those as well. So yeah, cards, those sorts of things, if you want to touch base with people, absolutely. Direct mail right now is very powerful. The other thing you can do direct mail, even though it's a little bit more, there's an investment in doing that process, is you want to follow it up. You want to follow your direct mail up and say, hey, have you been receiving this? Lumpy mail is really good. You've got to be very careful with lumpy mail. You can get a little bit gimmicky about it. And if you don't want to portray a gimmicky image, then I wouldn't recommend using lumpy mail. Lumpy mail is a strategy to get your mail open, right? Stick a pebble, stick a something in that feels a little bit different. They have to open up and then look for something. It's like a little prize. So yeah, it can work. It's very expensive. But you've got to be mindful of how you use a strategy. My favorite lumpy mail campaign that we ran is we used to buy secondhand, these really cheap secondhand mobile cell phones. We used to get them for like $25. And we used to put a SIM card, like a $2 SIM card, and then we would have the phone number to call us. And then the mail campaign was, this is going to be the most important call that you make for your business. Hit 1 to dial the number, right? And people would call us on these cell phones. And this free cell phone, right? It was very expensive. By the way, we spent tens of thousands of dollars on this strategy, but it generated a whole bunch of clients. We made a ton of money out of this strategy. But you know, you get a cell phone sent to you, you're going to go, hey, it's like a spy thing, right? Here's a phone, call the number. We got a lot of flack for that campaign, by the way. We got a lot of flack. People thought we were being very bold in that strategy. But again, it depends on how you position the strategy, right? We would tack that phone, the cellular phone would end up on it would be the last mailing. Was, you know, you've been receiving some cards from us, dial this number. This call will change your life, right? This call is going to change your business life. And they dial the number and we get these phone calls, right? So, well, I wouldn't, but our team would. But it worked brilliantly. It worked brilliantly. It was a very, very clever campaign. A little bit exy, but it was good. It worked. So yeah, lumpy mail can work. So with that, I want to thank you for being here. I will be here same time, same bat channel. We are moving to Monday to Friday USD 4 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, which is LA time, every day, Monday to Friday. I'm taking my weekends back so that I can enjoy a couple of days off. I was doing these calls every single day, but there's a ton of content. If you haven't already, go to consultingunleashed.com/go. You can get access to the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group. You can get access to our YouTube channel. If you're going to join the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button, because we are posting these videos on YouTube, in our channel on YouTube. We're also posting these videos in our Facebook group at Consulting Unleashed if you want to recap on some of the stuff that I've shared with you. Thank you. Congratulations to all of those sharing your wins. I really appreciate you sharing those wins. Well done. Always nice to see people getting results from taking an effort in their business. I hope you've enjoyed this particular session. I look forward to seeing you on future sessions. If you know anybody who needs to see this sort of stuff, please do direct them to consultingunleashed.com/go. That'd be really cool, because like I said, I want to make sure that we're delivering as much value that we can into the marketplace. So again, thanks for being here. I will see you same time, same channel, same batch channel, tomorrow at 4 p.m. PST. Yes, you'll be talking to me tomorrow, Ryan, in Agency Unleashed. Absolutely. Really looking forward to that. By the way, I do have one seat left. If anybody hasn't or is interested, just go to agencyunleashed.com and you can jump in and grab that seat. With that, I want to thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you same time, same batch channel for these Clarity and Focus sessions. Take care, everybody.